Welcome back, my awesome people. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate your encouragement and your subscription, your like and comments. I say, may the Almighty God bless you for this love that you have shown to me so far. I say thank you. So you can see, I don't want you to be left out of what I made. You know, I'm trying to build up a school here, right? As I told you earlier. So I don't want it to be left out. So you can see the picture I have on the thumbnail. That is the cloth I just made. I was supposed to show you how to cut it on the fabric, but most people, like beginners, do not understand because sometimes the shock does not show on fabric. So I come to use my pattern paper to explain to you on how to go about this your princess dart bust line bust cut. So this has been working for me perfectly, and I don't want to keep this secret to myself. I want to share it out for you also to put it on trial and get your own result as mine. So for our work to improve, because I'm not the only one improving my work. I want you to improve your work, and me myself, I'm also going to learn to improve my own work, and I'm also improving my work by teaching and learning also. So let me cut my long story short and let me go straight to the pattern. So what I want to do now is my bust is 40, my waist 33.5, my shoulder to bust is 11, my under bust is 14, my half length is 16. So if my half length is 16 and my bust is 40, so how to get your fabric on fold? I have done several videos, but I want to bring you back in case you are not seeing this for the first time. So how to get your fabric on fold, because this is single fabric, but your fabric is going to be on fold just like this. Going to be on fold like this for your front, but I'm using single because I'm using a pattern paper and not fabric. So your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 4 inches for sewing allowance for the front, and your bust measurement divided by 4 plus 6 inches for sewing allowance at the back. That is what you get for your fabric on fold. So let me go straight to this video. As I told you, my shoulder to bust is 11. My shoulder to bust is 11. I'm going to mark my 11. I'm going to mark my 11 just like this. Shoulder to bust 11. Shoulder to bust 11. Then my shoulder to under bust is 14. I'm going to include half inch for sewing allowance. This half inch is for sewing allowance because if I sew half inch from the shoulder here, it will fall back to 14. So I make it one, I make half as my sewing allowance. Then my half length is 16. My half length is 16. I'm going to include 1 inch for sewing allowance, making it 17.5. My half length is 16 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance will be 17. 17 will be 17. So since I have this 17 here, I'm still going to include half inch for the joining of my peplum. So this half inch that I have here now for the joining of my peplum. Easy way for you to get your under bust is 2 inches from your waist. So 2 inches from your waist. So this is your waist, then 1, 2. That's the easy way to get your under bust. Then 1 inch for your sewing allowance. Hope you understand. That is what we do here. So after that, I'm going to do the same thing at this point here. Your sewing allowance, you can make it 1.5 or you can make it 1 inch for your sewing allowance. I normally work with 1 inch. That's what I normally work with. So you draw your line there. Remember your half length plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. Your half length, which is your waist cut from your shoulder to your bust, then your waist cut, you get 2 inches from your shoulder to your under bust. 2 inches from your under bust give you your waist cut. So when you want to cut your fabric on fold, you include 1 inch for your sewing allowance because half is going to fall for the shoulder and half will fall at this under part here. Hope you understand what I just said. So what I'm going to do again is to replicate my measurement, my shoulder to nipple point measurement, which is shoulder to bust Then my shoulder to under bust plus half inch for sewing allowance at the down part. That is the measurement I just replicate here. Then I draw my straight line. I normally do my marks like this to get my straight line. And I connect my line like this. So for this, I have a measurement on how to take your nipple to nipple measurements. But for this bust of 40, what I normally do for bust of 40, 38, 40, 41, I normally use 4 inches for your, I normally use 8 for my nipple to nipple measurement. Nipple to nipple is your nipple at the other part of your breast and the nipple at the other part of your breast. When you place your tape on it, that is your nipple to nipple measurement. So what I have here is 8. So 8 divided by 4, 8 divided by 2 will give me 4. So since I have my 4 here, this is my nipple to nipple measurement, 4. I'm still going to add half inch for sewing allowance, which is 0.5 for sewing allowance. Because when joining your fabric from this part is also going to have its own half. When joining your fabric, you are going to join half inch, so it will be left with your nipple to nipple. If you don't include this, you have messed up your work. So make sure you add half inch for your sewing allowance. Then at this down part, I know what I normally do is I include my sewing allowance from here. I include my sewing allowance and I minus 1 inch from this. What I have here now is 4.5. 4.5 minus 1 will give me 3.5. So this is my 3.5 which I have here. So what I have here plus my sewing allowance, I minus 1 inch. So I have 3.5 here. I'm still going to replicate the same thing at the down part here. What you can see. So I did the same thing at the down part. So over to the shoulder. So how to get your shoulder? My shoulder is 15. And shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So this is my shoulder, 7.5 plus 2 inches. Plus 2 inches. I'm trying to get the connection of my armhole because the princess that is going to sit at the armhole. So this is my shoulder measurement plus 2 inches. Then from there, I will come down to 5 inches. Then I'll come again from this 5 inches. I'll place my shoulder measurement 7.5 plus 2 inches. 7.5 plus 2 inches. So after I have gotten this, what I will do at this under point, let me connect it first before, so you understand what I'm trying to do. So after connecting it like that, go ahead to connect this one to this, just like this. Then this line, now use your first part, which is your center front, will sit on this your shoulder measurement. So just take it up like this. So once you have it like that, from this your bust measurement, you come in by 0.7. Come in by 0.7 to get your bust curve. Then you go up by 0.7. So you can see. Then at this your waist point here, what you are going to do is to put 2.5. 2.5. You can as well use 2. For this 2.5, make your cup to go in so the bread can sit well. Before I was using 2, but when I discovered this 2.5 and I tried it and I enjoy what it gives me. So since then I've been using 2.5 for this measurement, not for all. If your bust is small, like bust of 31, 32, 31 is too small. Okay, if you have breast of 31, maybe 31, some people have breasts when their bust is 31. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 34, 34 and 35, 34, 35. You can use 1.5 at this point here. If your bust is small, use 1.5 at this extension here, 1.5. Then if your bust is big, the one I told you of, the one of 40, 44, 45, 46, 47, those bigger busts, what you are going to do here is to increase it to 3 inches. As your bust goes, that is how you increase this. So all bust of the bigger bust, you increase this by 3. So for bust of 40, what I'm using is 2.5. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So after that, what you do now is to connect this one down here. Then you connect this one to meet up with your first, to meet up, my line, your line should be straight, to meet up with your first line like this. If you are using your French curve, this will be easier for you. But make sure your mark enters this 0.7. And from this upper 0.7, I connect to this other part here. So you can see, then take it straight. You can from here roll it straight. From this part here, you can roll it straight. So you can see the shape of my, so you can see what I have here. So this is how to go about this. Then let me show you on how to get your, how to cut your shapes out before cutting this. So my bust is 40. My bust is 40 divided by 2. Let me extend this my lines, because my measurement, I believe it is going to enter through these lines here. So my bust is 40 divided by 4 will give me 10. So I have my 10 here. Plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. This one inch that I have here now is the connection of this bust, this 0.5 at this side, joining of this 0.5 to this 0.5 when you want to sew. That is this 1 inch that I have here now. So then you plus 2 inches for your sewing allowance. Hope you understand what I just did now. Then come over to your waist. My waist is 33.5 divided by 4 will give me 8.7. Sorry, will give me 8.3. So I have my 8.3 here. 8.3. So you can see what I have here. I include these dots here, and these ones are not included in my measurement. These ones are not included in my measurement. But you can see what happened there. I include this in my measurement. So what I'm going to do, since I have 2.5 here, I'm going to bring that 2.5 back here. After keeping this my 2.5 here, what I'm going to do now, the half inch for sewing allowance at this part and the half inch for sewing allowance at this part, I'm going to put it here, which is 1 inch. 0.5 plus 0.5 gives you 1 inch. This is my 1 inch. Then 2 inches for sewing allowance. So you see 2 inches for sewing allowance. So in total, what do I have there? In total I have 14. So the 14 now, I'm going to place it at the waistline, which is my half cut line. That is typically how to go about this. Then you connect this to the shoulder. Then you connect this here and here like this. All these are my dart that I will cut out. So you can see what I have. So let me go ahead to cut it without wasting much time, because I have said a lot. Let me go ahead to cut it, or let me cut it as you see. Okay, so over to the cutting. So what I do now is to cut So you can see what I have here. So after getting your cuttings like this, what you are going to do next is to notch this part, so that when sewing, you know that this is your under bust, and when padding, you know that this is your under bust. I have a video on how to pad and how to cut your breast pad on Princess That. The video, I'll drop the link down below for you to follow to know. So let me place this on my back to cut out for you to understand. Back is very simple. Okay, so I have my back here now ruled out. This is my zip allowance, which is 2 inches, and these are my measurements for my back. This is my bust and my waist and my half cut line. So I just wanted to understand. That's why I included my bust for you to see. So what you do now is to place your front on your back like this, keeping your zipper allowance just like this, so you can see what I have. So after placing my measurements like this, what I'm going to do now is to come in by 0.5 at my waistline. Come in by 0.5. Sorry. Yes, 0.5. I was thinking I said 1.5. Then at this other part, I will come in again. Make sure it is at that line. I come in again by the same 0.5 at this line. So that is the same thing you are going to apply for this part also. At your waist here, you know this is a pattern, so it is shifting. So at this part, I'm also going to include the same 0.5 and 0.5. So after having your 0.5 like that, what you are going to do next, making sure my patterns are the right form. So what you are going to do next now is to mark here. You can see my hand. Mark here. Just leave this side mark like this. Then you connect it like this. If it is on fabric, you go ahead to cut it like this. Make sure you are following exactly this form. You can see my pattern is shifting, which is my paper is shifting. So cut that side equally. Then what you are going to do for the back after you have done that is to connect these your lines together. These are your darts. Then from this point, you bring it down straight like this. You can see. Then bring this like this. You can see where my hand is stopping from. It does not go to the end. Then bring down your hand like this. So you can see, so this is my dart. This is my dart. So this one that comes up as this my bust points like this. This one now, after sewing, it will shift your zip. You know, if you want to cut your zipper part now, you're going to minus ½ inch, because if you don't do that, it will bring out bulge if you are using a straight curve. But the space which I have here, that I have here now, totally terminates that which you are supposed to do. So it gives you the nice shape at the back to make your back goes in well and lap and sits properly. Then what you are going to do, your back is not equal as the front. Your back is always shorter by 1 inch. Back is always shorter by 1 inch. I just want you to know this. For how I do my cloth is, after sewing everything, before I minus this 1 inch at the down part, when I have placed my up on the fabric to cut out my neck, because you can see I did not cut my neck. I normally do this after sewing my bust part, sewing my back part. That is when I draft out my neck. So your back is always shorter by 1 inch from the front. So if the total of your front is 17, your back is going to be 16 for the half cut. So what I'll do now is to cut it like this. But you can, I also have a video on how to sew. I have a video on how to cut your princess neckline. I have a video on how to do that, and I have a video on how to sew. So just go ahead to watch the video. Remind me in case I forget, I will put the link down below for you to go ahead to watch it. So this is as simple as ABC. So when you sew, you see how it will be. So this is it. So at this note, I want to say thank you for learning with me. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. In case you are just coming, don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button down below to subscribe to my channel, and comment in any aspect you don't understand or anything you don't understand in fashion. If I have any clue on how to help you, I promise to give you something that will be helpful to you. And drop any comment or any suggestions you think I should include to improve my teaching and my training, because what I'm trying to do here is to impact knowledge. So if there's anything you see that I'm not putting, that I need to put to make you understand better, please tell me in the comment section. Thank you, and stay safe and remain blessed.